You want to know what really happened? Sit with me. I was there. In the beginning of my years, the world was not as you know it now. The air was different, heavier, with something I can only call presence. We were closer then, to the beginning of things, and we knew it. I remember the way the evenings felt, as if something watched over us, not with judgment, with something closer to tenderness. That was before. They were called the Watchers, 200 of them, sent to observe, to guide from a distance, to bear witness to humanity, the way I would one day bear witness to them. But watching was not enough. It never is. Not when what you are watching is alive and warm and present, in a way that eternity is not. The Watchers took wives from among the daughters of men, and from those unions came children, but children is perhaps too gentle a word for what emerged. They consumed everything. First the stores of food, then the animals, then... There are memories I carry that I will not speak aloud, not because I wish to protect you from them, but because some things, once placed in words, cannot be unheard, and you will need your sleep. The world screamed, "That is enough." Heaven was not silent, it never is, though it sometimes feels that way from where we stand. The archangels, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, Gabriel, looked down at what the earth had become and brought their grief before the throne. I was not present for what was said in those halls. No human ear has heard those conversations, but I know what was decided, because I was the one chosen to deliver the message. Me, a man, chosen to carry the words of heaven to those who had abandoned it. I have never fully understood that choice. I have only tried to be worthy of it. When the judgment came, the Watchers were bound, imprisoned in the valleys of the earth to await what would follow, and it was then that they came to me. 200 beings of heaven, bound and diminished and afraid, and they asked me, a man who walked and ate and slept and wept, to speak for them, to carry their petition to the God they had abandoned. They wept. I had never seen anything like it before. I have not seen anything like it since. 200 beings who had stood in the presence of the divine, weeping, asking a mortal man to be their voice. I felt something in that moment that I still cannot fully name. It was not pity. Pity looks down. What I felt looked across. I saw them, not as fallen things, as beings who had loved something so much they had destroyed themselves reaching for it. Have you ever loved something that deeply, enough to leave everything you were to reach for it? Then perhaps you understand them better than you think. I wrote their petition, every word they asked me to write. And then I did something I had never done before. I fell into a dream that was not a dream, and in that place between sleeping and knowing, the answer came. It was no. Not with cruelty, not with satisfaction. The answer carried something that felt almost like grief from the other side, as if the no cost something to say. But it was no. They would not be forgiven, not in this age. What had been done could not be undone by petition, only by time, and even time, I was told, has its limits. I delivered the answer. I stood before 200 fallen beings, and I spoke the words that broke what was left of them. I have carried that moment for longer than you have words for time. Tonight I have told you how it began. The watching, the longing, the oath on Herman, the knowledge given too freely, the children born from a union the world was never made to hold, and the petition of those who had once stood in the presence of God, asking a mortal man to speak for them. But I have not yet told you what I saw when heaven opened before me. I have not told you what the watchers became after the answer was given. I have not told you what their children did to the earth. And I have not told you what it cost the world to be cleansed of them. That story is still ahead of us. You have heard the beginning. There is more. There is always more.